Hey guys, good morning. Good to be with you today. We see in Mark chapter 10 today in our devotional series, we see a total change in the tone of Jesus' voice and as he becomes very serious about certain things. He talks to his disciples in John chapter 10 about the plan that is about to unfold, and you get the sense of Jesus's great burden to share this with his disciples and to be able to say, guys, my heart is getting heavy. I'm a human being, even though I am God, and I have things that I need to share with you. And so in deep sense of seriousness, Jesus begins to share a few very deep thoughts with his disciples. Disciples don't appear to be quite that bright. They don't seem to get with it very quickly. But Jesus begins to tell them about what is about to happen to him. Let me read it to you. It's incredible. They were on their way to Jerusalem with Jesus leading the way, and the disciples were astonished, while those who followed were afraid. Again, he took the 12 aside and told them what was going to happen to him. We're going up to Jerusalem, he said, and the Son of Man, that is Jesus, will be betrayed to the chief priests and the teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death and will hand him over to the Gentiles, who will mock him and spit on him, flog him, and kill him. And 3 days later, he will die. Jesus is sharing his deepest anxiety and the deepest sense of, whew, man, this is heavy stuff. And he's sharing it with a bunch of people who are more concerned about some of the superficial things of life. And Jesus is saying, guys, focus, focus, focus. It's this one thing. Here's the one thing again. This is the one thing that I have come to do. I have come to die. I haven't just come to teach you guys stuff. I haven't just come to heal people and to raise the dead and to show you the love of God by that. I have come to shed my blood and to die upon a cross for the cause of redemption so that you guys can go to heaven one day. And the disciples just didn't quite get it. You see, they didn't understand that Jesus, this was the plan of God. I think in their minds, they were thinking that Jesus would be a great savior of the Israelite nation, and he would come and drive the Romans out of Israel, and that Jesus would declare himself to be the king. And they were probably thinking, that's the kind of king we want. We want a king who rides a white horse and sits upon a throne and is in control. And along comes a Jesus saying, guys, that's not the plan. God has another plan. Let me tell you what the plan is, says Jesus. But I'm interested to see in that first verse that it says this, and Jesus walked ahead of them as if he was leading the way to Jerusalem. Jesus was leading the way. He knew what Jerusalem had to hold for him. He knew the persecution. He knew the sadness. He knew the devastation of the Garden of Gethsemane. He knew that the cross was going to be there and the pain and the suffering of the cross. And yet he saw too the joy of redemption for mankind. He saw the joy that was set before him after the cross. He would know the joy of redemption for the people that he loves. Now, when we look at this, we see this change of tone in Jesus out of his preparation phase into his popularity phase. And here's Jesus talking about the persecution phase that takes him from here journeying towards that great event of the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus. He tells his disciples up front, this is the plan. I find it incredibly humbling, incredibly encouraging, incredibly, just motivating to know that Jesus' death was not some accident. It just happened to be that he happened to be there and they didn't like him and they crucified him. Jesus was God's fulfillment of the plan, and it culminated in the death and beautifully so the resurrection of Jesus. So here we're going to talk for the next couple of days about the plan of salvation. There's a few other beautiful thoughts that come along, but this is the plan that God has to redeem mankind. He came because you are the reason for the plan. He became here a human being here on earth so he could fulfill God's plan for your life. Won't you, this Friday, as you go into the weekend, take some time to contemplate the plan of God on your behalf? Won't you listen to this beautiful song? And I don't feel that I've articulated it very well today, but that's okay. You've got the gist of this thing. I think this song will say it a whole bunch better. Have a great day and a good weekend, and find yourself at worship on Sunday if you can. Cheers, guys. Bye.